Yeah, thanks again, everybody, for joining. I hope this information is very useful when you're looking for your short-term graphic needs. So we're going to step away from the floor graphic topic. That's been hectic, and really just try to catch the next wave of the short-term graphics that are going to be needed as businesses and companies are opening back up. So let's get started here. So why are short-term graphics needed? Simple, it's communication. So anywhere from promotions to education, wayfinding, signage, and public health notices. That's going to be a really big one. Like I said, with businesses opening back up and social distancing, there's going to be a lot of those short-term graphics that are going to be needed to be placed throughout the stores, restaurants, wherever you go. They're really good for branding, so you can display the logo, advertising, sponsorships, and where are they needed? What we've seen is hospitals and any kind of healthcare facilities, retail stores, grocery stores. I'm sure you have been to a grocery store since all this has happened and you see the floor graphics. Like I said, the next wave that's going to come by, it's going to be window and wall graphics. When restaurants are opening back up, there's going to be graphics there as well, and as well as hotels, events, so concerts, sporting events, trade shows, expos, and then schools and any kind of education facilities. So what are some of the must-haves when you're looking at short-term graphics? So one, it needs to be easy to apply. You don't want to pay a lot of money to have an installer come in and put up these graphics if they're only going to stay up for a couple weeks, couple months. So you need to be able to apply it with your hand or with a small squeegee. And like I said, there's just no need for an installer for a short-term graphic. You need a media that can be layered over other existing graphics. And you need a graphic where it can be removed cleanly without leaving any kind of adhesive residue behind. Okay, the last thing you want to do is replace somebody else's graphic. So understand your application and your surfaces. There's a couple things you need to understand when thinking of these medias that you're going to be using. So one is your surfaces. So windows, you need clean glass, so no damaged chips, cracks. Tint film is sometimes okay. Just be really careful with the tint on there. You know, go look at the job first, and then you need to understand your duration. How long is this going to be up? Is it going to be up for a day, a week, a month, a couple months, a year? All this is going to be really helpful to know which media that you're going to use. So also understanding the adhesive. You don't want to put a permanent adhesive for a short-term graphic. Know what kind of inks you're going to use for this, and know if your shrinkage is going to be okay. Because most of the time with short-term graphics, you're going to experience a little bit of shrinkage depending on what kind of media that you use. And so with walls, you're going to want to make sure that your walls are smooth. And the same with duration. Just know if it's short-term, mid-term, long-term. But for this, we're talking about the short term and locations. So this goes for windows and walls, inside, outside, if it's going to be exposed to direct sunlight, or if it's going to come in human contact of any kind. So if it's going to be on a door where someone can be pushing on it. So we have a video here of Gareth installing just a small graphic, and you can see how easy it is for him to install this.
So Daniel, quick question. What should one use to clean the windows with before installation?
I think any kind of alcohol. Isopropyl is always good. And then what I can do too is I can get Steve to help answer some of those questions on what exactly needs to be used to clean all those.
Okay, thank you.
So installation, no experienced installers, don't need that, especially for the small graphic decals. You always want something with a dry install. You don't want to have to go through the trouble of doing a wet install on something like this. No tools. If you have squeegee, it's great. If not, you can do it with your hand. And this is all for the short-term promotional graphics. And so there's another video here. It's a little bit bigger of a graphic, just so you can kind of see how Garrett does this as well. So here at Drytac, our spot-on print media is really the perfect solution for your short-term graphics for your window and wall applications. So I'm going to get into the specifications of this media. So spot-on white and clear. We have white gloss, white matte, clear gloss, clear matte. It's 4 mil PVC film, unique dot pattern removable adhesive. So what that is it's got plenty of air channels. It's almost impossible to get a bubble in this graphic, even with some of the larger size. So dry bubble-free installation with no tools needed. Let's see here. So it is print compatible with solvent, eco-solvent, latex, and UV. If you look and you can see the interior and the exterior durability, I'm sorry. So you have a 3-year durability interior and a 6-month durability outdoors. So it's really good for windows, walls, and floors. Now, I'm just going to hit on this just for a second. We generally would have a floor product for this, but because of the demand for this product, it is actually not available in the U.S. right now until further notice. I mean, hopefully by the end of the year we'll have it. But you can still use a spot-on white and the spot-on clear and match it with a slip-rated laminate, and you would still have essentially the same product. So then a newer one that we have is a spot-on white M50. Everything is pretty much the same, except it is 50% more opaque than the spot-on white. So this would be really good if you need to layer graphics. Since it's more opaque, you're not going to see the graphic behind it. And same thing, windows, walls, floors, and you can also pair this with a slip-rated laminate as well.
We saw it could be used on elevators, which was really cool.
Yes, absolutely.
And it stays on well, even because with the elevator doors, they open and close so often.
Right.
Do you see any fraying of any kind?
I don't think so. And
Okay.
what we always tell people is just test. If it is going to go on an elevator, just make sure it's not going to rub up, on the other side,
Mm-hmm.
and then you should be good.
Makes sense.
And so with fire ratings are always really important when you're putting up any kind of media. So in short, what the DIN testing is, it's a European fire rating. So Spot On had actually achieved the highest grade for B1. So what this means is it's classified as not being very easily, it's not very easily to be flammable. It will not accelerate the fire, and it won't help spread it. And it is also limited on the smoke and toxic gases that it releases. So we are maybe working on getting USA ratings for it. Like I said, because this is European, it's still recognized in the US.
Gotcha. And another quick question for you, going back to the spot on for windows, do you need to laminate the spot on?
No, you do not need to laminate.
Okay. Good. And then also, is there a size limit for spot on adhering to walls?
I wouldn't think so. I definitely wouldn't do an entire wall wrap with it. Spot On is really good for the smaller, short-term graphics. So if you wanted to put maybe you could easily do a 6x6 or something even bigger than that. But when it comes to like butting the ends together and like doing a full wrap, we would not suggest using this, only because it's a monomeric, and so the possibility of it shrinking a little bit is possible.
Okay. Understood. And also, so for a large wall wrap, what would you suggest then, Daniel?
We would suggest using our Drytac.
Okay. Gotcha. And Retac is something that we do offer on our website.
Yes.
Good. All right, if anybody has any more questions for Daniel, please go ahead and just start sending them over. Oh, here we go. How does the Spot On perform on low VOC painted walls, Daniel?
It shouldn't have any problem with it. Because it's ultra removable, you shouldn't have any problem taking it down and seeing any paint come down with it.
Okay. And could you just, I know we just mentioned Retac. Could you explain a little bit about what Retac is?
Yeah, absolutely.
What makes that a little different from Spot On?
Absolutely. So Drytac is a very special product because it's a microsphere adhesive. So what this means is it's ultra removable and repositionable. So this is a type of product where you can put it up, you can do a wall wrap, you can do short-term, long-term signage. And when you go to bring the product down, you don't have to worry about messing up the adhesive or the wall that you put it on. So it's really good if you think about maybe a customer who's leasing out a building or renting out a building, but they are just they want something just short term, or they want something to be in there for 3 or 4 years for the duration of their lease, and they go to tear it down and they don't want to replace the wall. They don't want to be responsible for repainting the walls or anything like that. Retac would be a really good option for that. Yeah, does that answer that pretty well?
It does. Thank you. Thank you. And so also, is the Spot On safe for all window tints?
I would say for most window tints,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, anytime you have these jobs, you got to understand the tint that's on there. If it's a high-end tint, yes. If it's like a low grade and it's starting to peel off, or you're seeing cracks and stuff in it, that's when I would kind of draw the line of, what kind of graphic am I going to put up on this? Just because you don't want to be responsible, even if it is cracked but it's not coming off yet, but your graphic is the reason why it comes off. Nobody wants to be responsible for that. So definitely go and test it. Go check out the tint first and then move forward from it.
Understood. Okay. And then can you custom cut decals like star patterns? And will the edges of the custom cuts stick?
We haven't had any issues with that.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we haven't had any issues with that.
Okay, very good, very good. Can you layer or overlap Spot On?
Yes, you can.
Good, good. And how does Spot On compare to Static Cling?
So Static Cling is just kind of like a, should I say it? The cling is obviously statically charged. So when you put it up, that film is only good for as long as a static charge is there. So with Spot On, say you put it up and you realize, oh man, it's crooked. I need to fix this. You can bring it down and put it back up. I am not sure exactly how the cling would respond to that, because most of your charge will be gone when you go to remove that.
Okay, understood, understood. Okay, thank you for that. And then earlier you mentioned that Spot On can stick to itself, for example, covering an existing graphic.
Yes.
Is that recommended normally?
It's not that it's not recommended or recommended, but it is a possibility, and the adhesive is designed to be able to be ultra removable. So if you do put it up on an existing graphic, you can bring it off, or you can take it off without leaving residue on whatever surface you put it on.
Okay, makes sense. And we've got a lot of questions. This is great. Thank you, everybody. So what floor surfaces can you adhere the Spot On M50 to? Spot On M50.
So any kind of wood, you can do tile, you can do, so any kind of hardwood floors. You can do low pile carpet. Stop that. I'm so sorry. That's the joys of working from home.
Absolutely.
Yeah, low pile carpets, you can put on that, but what we would always say is the low pile to some customers is different than to another customer. So what we always say is maybe get a little sample of the carpet, go check out the carpet. If it has like a padding under it, then we would say stay away from that. That there's other products that you could use for a quote unquote higher pile carpet, but any kind of like industrial, like super low where almost feel like you're stepping on concrete. That's what we would suggest using for the low pile.
Okay, very good. And can you print edge to edge without curling?
Yes, you can. Now, depending on the inks, most of the time with like eco solvent, this is just based off of what I've heard and what we've seen, is you generally want to leave about 1 inch of white space on it. That way the ink doesn't make it curl up, especially if you don't let the gases or the solvents gas out long enough. But generally, no, there's not a problem with it curling.
Just really quickly also, if anybody needs any samples from us or any additional information on Spot On or any Drytac products, you are more than welcome to visit our website, www.digitalcoloring.com, which you'll be able to see in the Zoom webinar chat. You can also feel free to contact us via info@digitalcoloring.com or give us a call at 877-616-8600. So with that, Daniel, thank you so much for giving us some time today to kind of talk about Spot On and give us some options as to graphics for businesses that are hopefully reopening soon.
Absolutely. Yeah, and just let me know if anybody else has any other questions. Just forward them my way, and I'll answer them as quick as possible. And hopefully we'll see this next wave coming through, and we'll be prepared for it.
Absolutely. We can only hope.
That's right.
All right. Well, thank you again, Daniel. Thank you so much. And to all the attendees, thank you so much for attending. Have a great day.